This meeting is going to be on hours of service, and it's very important that we pay attention to this. Our SAFER score is now 66%. We get to 100, we're in a lot of trouble, just so you know. It's very important that we take this seriously, each and every one of you. Every violation that you all get, every time you're pulled over and you get inspected, goes on your PSP record. Every trucking company is now pulling those to see what that driver has done in the past. And the reason being is because the majority of trucking companies will not give employment verification. Mr. P for years never did. They just recently started doing that. They never would fill one out. So they never would tell you if you were a good driver, bad driver. It's like you didn't exist, okay? So every time y'all get pulled over, it goes in your file. I do put it in your manila folder and not your blue folder in case DOT comes in and wants to do an audit. They're not allowed to see your personal files, but they can see your driver record, okay? So all of those are in a separate file, just so you know. I do expect us to get audited again because of our score, especially with it being hours of service. They're serious about this, they don't play. I try to guide you all. I go by the regulation books. I don't make this stuff up. I don't want anybody asking their coworker, what should I do with my logs? That person is not going to be the one that's going to be audited. You need to be contacting me. If you can't get me, then contact him, okay? We gotta shore up the ship. I interviewed the majority of you all, except the ones that's been here since 2011. And I told you you would get home for the weekend. I did not tell you we're gonna get home at 5 o'clock on Friday. So I don't want anybody racing the clock anymore to get home for 5 o'clock on Friday. This is not a banking job, it's trucking. You're gonna get delayed, whether it's getting empty, getting loaded, waiting for a load or whatever, or you may break down. That causes you to be delayed also. But it doesn't give you the right to use adverse driving conditions when it's not adverse driving conditions. You're all gonna be handed a bunch of material and you have to read it and you have to take the test, and the test is due back tomorrow. I have to have record that we had this meeting about hours of service. I expect them any day to just come in the door and say, we're here to audit you, give us your files. We're one violation away of being at 100% because we are a small company. You know, if we were, Schneider or Summit or one of those companies where they have 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 drivers, we wouldn't be at 66%. We went from 0 in 1 week to 66% because of what hit our records. The reason everybody has called me in the fleet, my pre-pass is not working. Why is my pre-pass not working? It's not working because of the 66%. When we first got those, the very beginning, we were at 4%. We got to slide through every scale just about every time. Didn't have to pull in. But you're gonna get pulled in. Expect to be pulled in every time you're coming up on a scale. Expect it. You need to have your credentials in your truck. You need to have everybody's getting a logbook. You need a logbook in there in case your ELD goes down. You need to make sure you've got a cab card, an IFTA card, a registration, insurance card in that truck. The first thing you do when you get pulled over, as soon as he pulls you over, as soon as you get stopped, you need to change your driver's status different. From driving to on duty. There's people here in this room that got dinged for that because they were getting their paperwork like they're supposed to do. And it depends on the officer. If he's having a really bad day, then you're gonna have a really bad day. So the first thing you do is change your drive status to on duty. Then you reach for your credentials. And then be as nice as you can be to that officer. They're always right. We can't argue with them. They're handing out warnings. Warnings are like you can't hardly argue a warning. Majority of the warnings on speeding, you were speeding. I went back and I looked at the videos, and it pops up what the speed limit is where you are and how fast that truck is going. I can't argue that. Now, if you were going 35 and he's writing you for 15 over and you're in a 50, 45 or a 55 mile an hour lane, I can fight that all day long. But I can't if you are in the wrong. There's a reason you get pulled over. Something is not right. Besides that, they know that what our score is. Indiana's going to pull you over every time you pass them. Everybody likes to coast down the hill so they can get up the next hill. They're sitting at the bottom and they're writing warnings left and right. Not just us, but other companies too. But they're hitting us hard. Does anybody know what adverse driving conditions is for? Anybody?
Snowy conditions, major storm like a hurricane or something, that's when you have adverse conditions.
Even fog.
Yeah,
Fog, and if you're out in California, which, Stan and some of the guys were out there, and they had those forest fires and stuff going on, you couldn't see. That is considered adverse driving conditions. It's not because I want to be home at 5 o'clock. It's not because I'm tired of being out here because Dawn held me up. That's not what it's for. So if you're going to use it, you need to make sure you can back up what that condition is. It needs to be noted on your log. It needs to be noted where it is, what's going on. Rush hour traffic does not count. Nothing. And I know the majority of the fleet has fudged on this adverse driving conditions when they shouldn't have. Here goes another one. Hi. Sign in for me if you would, please. Put your cell phone in the box if you would. Yeah, put your, hey,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
your phone.
And then you can sit down anywhere you want. I know you all don't want to be here today. I didn't want to be here either. But I needed to get in front of you all to let you know how serious it is. It could affect Tim getting loads for you guys. There's companies that are like, I don't think I want to take a chance on them. They might get shut down and not really get my load delivered. We don't want to take that chance. Now, we have stuff that is coming off of our record, and I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. We've got 12 points that's coming off between now and December. There's another 29 points that's going to come off of our record January to February and March. And then it's going to be a while before anything falls off. It stays on our record for 2 years, 24 months before it's taken off. So I don't want anybody fudging anything. If you got an emergency, call me. But no more, I'll just use adverse driving conditions. I told the wife I'll be home at 5 o'clock on Friday. I'm going to be short 2 hours. I'll just use that adverse driving conditions. Not anymore. Another thing that's going on that's got to stop is you guys are getting in the truck and you're not logging in and you just start moving a truck. I've got examples that you all are going to get. It's unassigned driving. That is also a mark against us. Oh, so you're driving and you're not logged in, so you're not following the hours of service regulations. So you've got to log in. You've got to use your credentials on that ELD. You can't just, I'm just going to I'm just gonna creep under 5 miles an hour. That doesn't exist. I don't know who started that, but I see it on my end. Unassigned driving because somebody thought they would creep on the yard. You've got yard move, use it. It's what it's for. If you have to use PC, say they told you to stay down the road a half a mile. Use PC to get in there to get unloaded. You're that close. But don't just because it's the end of the week and you want to be home at a certain time, use adverse driving conditions. There are things that you can use PC for. They've gotten a lot lighter on that. A lot of it now depends on the company and their policy as they want how much will allow you to PC. Pretty sure Stewart's not gonna let you PC from Kansas City, Missouri, all the way to Jeffersonville. Anything that happens in that time, an accident is on you, not us. So make sure you got good insurance to pay for it. And you may not plan it. It may not be, you're not causing the accident, but somebody runs into you. It's your problem, not the company's. I don't think anybody wants to have that responsibility. So I've got material I'm going to hand out to everybody. You need to read it. There's a test attached to it. I want you all, it's 12 questions. It should be stuff that you all should already know. I'm going to use it as a training tool. If you don't know, then we're going to have some training. Nobody else is going to know but me. Nobody else in this room is going to know but me. And I'll have an individual one-on-ones to get you all going in the right directions. We have a lot of new drivers here, and a lot of them are out of school. The schools don't teach them everything they should know. They get them to the point to where they can have a license to drive a truck. But they really don't go into detail as to regulations on hours of service. And depending on what school you go to, they run you through there like cattle. They don't care if you know what you're supposed to do on the road. If you are, as trainers, if you all are training somebody, please take the time to explain a few little things to them. Yes, you're teaching them how to get their driving skills up to par and how to do their paperwork and who's in charge of what. But take that extra step to protect your company. We love each and every one of you all. And when stuff like this happens, I take it personally. It upsets me to no end. So I need everybody to shore up the ship. Don't do anything that's going to get you pulled over. If you do get pulled over, make sure you've got everything in order. You know, Amy is the anchor of the company. If it's 55, she's probably 53, 54. And she always checks with all you new drivers that come in that she runs across, hey, do you have the stuff in your truck you need in case you get pulled over? She makes sure you all have got it. She does that from her own heart. I don't ask her to do that. I appreciate her so much for doing that. But it's like somebody would say, well, it's not my job. Why should I do it? You all should have each other's back. Each and every one of you. This is a team. It's not an individual. You know, it's not Kevin Bogart's trucking company. It's the Peregrine family. So no more fudging. Please. I don't think I can handle another warning. I want your all's records to be clean. I don't want anything on your PSP. I don't want to have to tell the next company you go to, oh, well, yeah, he fudges his logs all the time. I have to. I'm required to give other trucking companies that information. Don't put me in that spot. Because as an individual, I love every one of you all. I don't want to have to say, oh, that Bobby Chafin, oh my God, he fudged his logs 50 times in 1 month. He had 2 accidents and he refused a drug test. I do not want to have to do that. I haven't had anybody in this room to refuse a drug test. And I picked Bobby because he does a good job. Majority of you all do a good job. Every one of you. You do a good job. Don't leave here thinking, oh, I'm a piece of crap. You're not. Just trying to get you all to the place to realize that, okay, I should do better. I should take care of my license. Because your license goes with you everywhere you go. That's your career. You all signed up to have a career, not a job. You're not just above broke. You all are making good, decent money. You shouldn't have to be living, like this and just trying to beat the clock. I know you have functions with your children, with your wives. I understand that. But please, don't do it anymore. I'm begging you. And if there's something that you don't understand about hours of service, call me. I'll be happy to sit down with you as an individual and go over whatever we need to get you where you need to be, to where you feel confident. The schools don't get you there. And some of you guys that's been here for a long time, Rick Shepherd, how long have you been driving?
How long have I been driving?
Yeah.
I've been trucking 39 years.
39 years. 39 years. And the reason he's been driving for 39 years is because he's done the right thing.
It's because they all own trailers on mules.
I thought that's because I had.
Trailers with mules. Back in the day, Philly's like, you pulled a wooden wagon with mules in it, or Bob mules.
Yeah.
Rick Swan, how long have you been driving?
Too long. 40-something.
See, 40-some years. They've been able to hang on to their license because they chose to do the right thing. Now, when Rick was young, worked for other companies, he may have made some of the same similar mistakes. Maybe got called out on it, Because you think, oh, I can push that envelope. Nobody will know. Maybe Katrina won't catch it. Maybe she won't. But the police will. And then there we are.
It was different then.
It was different then. It is totally different. You didn't have logs. You just did whatever you wanted to do.
Basically.
Yeah.
We had a total of 2 DOT officers in my area
See?
when I started driving. Now we've got 45
Yeah. In your area.
in my area.
See?
And that doesn't count the Boone County guys that think they're DOT officers and cannot do a roadside inspection, yet they write you up.
Yes.
And they can't even do it.
I know.
And I said, excuse me.
No, you gotta be nice.
You gotta be nice to them.
This was when I was hauling mail. I said, excuse me, you're doing an inspection? Well, yeah. I said, well, you sure miss a lot. He said, do what? I said, you didn't look at the brakes. You didn't notice that hose is hanging down there. You didn't do this, didn't do that. And he's going, do you want me to write you up? I said, I want you to write up everything that's wrong with this truck because this is a company truck. I have been complaining about it and they're not doing anything about it. So it got me put out of service. I said, thank you very much.
Exactly. Then you get something fixed.
Yes.
That's the next thing.
Rick is telling y'all what not to do, just so y'all know.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's telling you what not to
Everything
do.
you just said, don't do it.
Don't do it.
I'm
Don't
sorry,
do it.
I'm from Sadler Brothers out there.
Yeah. Don't do
You're the
it.
complete opposite.
Yeah.
Multi-million dollar company.
I'm also going to touch on some maintenance here. I know you guys have a very tight schedule. I do. But please help me to get it somewhere to get it fixed. If you've got a light out, Rick Shepherd, I swear, calls me every day and tells me, I got a light out. Can I get it fixed? Absolutely. Have I ever told you no, Rick?
No,
I've never told you no.
no. I do have to buy another tire though.
Okay. Well, you get one from Bob. If not, we get one down here. But Rick is a haggler. He is very old school. And he is buying used tires from a guy up in his area, and they're good used tires, for $100.
Yep,
And then a guy puts them on for us.
yep.
So we can't complain about that. I don't expect y'all to find your own tires. I'll do that. I don't mind. Anything needs to be fixed, call me. Let's get it fixed. Just don't let it go and get pulled over and it be a violation. If at any point you're not sure about a tire, a light, a brake, call me. Because I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, your brakes are bad, we're not gonna do anything about it, we're gonna have to wait till December to touch on that, because it's just a little expensive. No. I don't care where you are, we're gonna have them looked at. If it needs to be replaced or whatever, we're gonna do it then. I prefer to get things done here, because I've haggled with our vendors, they take care of us. Love's does not take care of us. Pilot doesn't take care of us. So we need to do it here. On the road, tires. One tire is costing us $1,000. It costs us, for labor, everything, $368 here in town. That's a huge difference. That's why I say, when you're coming in, help me find a vendor that can take care of you when you're off. You know, I'm probably gonna ask you to drop it somewhere, and then I'm probably gonna ask that vendor to bring somebody in on a Saturday to make sure it gets done. We spend a lot of money with them. They tend to take care of us. So, don't leave it for the next person. You know, Kevin Bogart, God love him, he's out there in Kansas City trying to keep Wiley straight, trying to get equipment stayed together. You know, he's constantly babysitting that guy. You do a good job, Kevin. You really do. You do. Wiley's a handful.
Never met him.
He's a handful. If we have a trailer that needs a Conestoga replaced, speak up. We'll send it out there and let him destroy it. It's happened 3 times this year with him. So we're just kind of sending ones out there that need to be tore up instead of sending him out there really good ones, because we know he's going to destroy them. You know, he doesn't pay attention very well. Be prepared for winter, guys. It's around the corner. I always talk about winter. Make sure you have extra water in the truck, extra blankets, extra clothes. If any of you all break down on the road and you cannot run your truck and have heat, I need to know it. Because if Penske's coming out to get you, or Ryder's coming out to get you, somebody's coming out in a pickup truck to get you out of that truck first. Especially in the wintertime. It may take them 8 hours to get to you. This last year, what was it, Tim, down there in Bargetown, Shepherdsville? Didn't he, I mean, how many hours was he there? All night. All night and half the next day. Chris took him food. That's how bad it was. He was jackknifing in the middle of a road, couldn't go anywhere. Nobody would come help him because there were so many accidents on 65, they couldn't get to him. He wasn't expecting to be out. He was in a sleeper, but he still wasn't expecting it. He was a city driver. So then we're like, what else does he need? What can we get to him? And just because Chris lived in that area and had a pickup truck that could get there to him is what tied him over. So make sure you have extra stuff in your all's trucks. Find a place for storage, please, for those things. Always have water. Kevin, Lynn, what do I tell you all? What do I ask you a lot? Just about every time I talk to Kevin, you got any water in that truck? Because he broke down one time. If he'd had some water in his truck, he would have made it up to the next exit. But he didn't have any water. All he had was a little 16-ounce bottle of water is all he had.
Call me next time. I got 7 gallons.
See? Melinda's prepared. Yeah. But not pea jugs, no water. But yeah, I mean, please think about your own safety. You got to take care of yourself while you're out there. I'll do as much as I can to help you guys, get you back in, get you to a safe place. I believe Amy was broke down one year, and you were in the snow, and you couldn't idle your truck. I remember. I had somebody in a truck come get you. Had somebody said, she doesn't have any heat. She can't move her truck. She needs somebody to go get her. I think it was a tow truck driver or somebody, wasn't it? So I have to know those things so that I can't twice.
No, 2 more things I was gonna tell you about the winter in the Adamsville.
Yep,
There's road freeze, so the road freeze.
that's right.
Say that loud.
You say.
You need anti-gel in your trucks so your fuel doesn't gel up. And your all's fuel card pays for it. How many does it take for a tank? One per tank.
But you get 500 extra points all winter long if you buy 2 of them.
You get extra points for that?
500 extra points most of the winter if you buy 2 of them.
Well, buy 2 of them. I don't want you just having 1 in there. Put 4 in there. I don't care. You're gonna use them in the wintertime. It gets so cold and so windy out there in Missouri that it's like, it's treacherous.
What was the other item?
Do not set your trailer brakes. Please.
De-icer,
Huh?
airline de-icer,
Windshields? No?
airlines.
Yeah. De-icer for your airlines. There's a lot of simple little things that you all can do to keep yourself rolling.
Put alcohol in your washer fluid bottles.
Yeah.
Can we buy the good, windshield wiper?
I don't care. If it keeps your windshield clean.
Putting bourbon in my windshield wiper.
Now, not that kind of stuff. Not bourbon.
You want the cheap nasty stuff.
Oh, yeah.
No, you just want the rubbing alcohol, not the bourbon or the vodka. That's bourbon abuse.
You got one like this side where it drops down just below the steering wheel where it puts it up.
That's true, alcohol abuse,
It is. It's awful. Don't do it.
yeah.
Don't do it. So, your trailer brakes will freeze. You don't know it. You pull off. You're dragging them, and you're dragging, and you're dragging, and you're dragging, all the way to Shepherdsville or whatever. And believe it or not, you catch on fire. You burn the freight. You burn the trailer. We've had it happen. Unfortunately, we're lucky that he wasn't hurt. He didn't know they were stuck, frozen, or whatever. If you all haven't had your brakes checked lately, please do so. Call me, say, where can I get this done at? You know, there's adjustments that need to be made. You have to stay on top of that. Federal inspections should be done. I'm doing them every 6 months. If you take your trailer in to do something, I'm telling them, is the federal inspection good, or is it within 2 months, or has it been 6 months? And I'm getting them done. I want them done twice a year. Y'all should be looking at that in your pre or post trip.
When I took mine in to have it done, when they did, they said, all we're gonna do is your service because your federal's good until May of next year.
Well, you can call me. Is that on a trailer?
No, that's on the tractor.
Yeah, right. That's because that's what Ryder does. They have this timeline that they go by. The same as Penske. They have their timeline that they go by. And I know some of you, your tires on your tractor, you think they're not good. And I agree with you. Some of them are not good. And they say, oh no, you still got plenty of tread on there. Call me.
That's why I carry it.
Send me-
That they got for the tires to check that.
Exactly. You know, if you think that they're not good, I'm with you. They're not good. Send me a picture, call me, and let me have a conversation with that shop.
Riders saying that they're having such a hard time with vendors getting tires.
I don't care. They're gonna have to find a tire from somewhere. I can find tires. They can find tires.
Right.
So, yeah. I know that I've been told multiple times in the last few months, oh, it's on national back order. We can't do anything about that. I was told that about Mr. Chafin's APU. It's on national back order. It's your all's fault because you ran it too much. It had a hole in a DPF, and they are saying it was our fault. Laura and I talked to him multiple times, and guess what? It was because of the salt on the road that caused it. Not us, not from us running it running it all the time. It was because they had faulty material and the salt ate through it. After that, the DPF was on national back order, couldn't give one. Oh no, couldn't give one. When they realized it was their fault, they replaced it right then. It's a miracle that one showed up for them to put on that truck. It's a miracle. So, needless to say, they were apologizing all over themselves for putting us through what we went through.
Now, I know they didn't do one other thing I wrote up on that truck either.
What's that?
They didn't put new steer tires on it,
Okay.
because they were wearing on the outside edge on both sides.
That's bad. Why?
Second set of
Yeah,
If it's eating the outside edge, it's burning wire. If it's eating the inside of that edge and cutting it, you got bad wheels, they're bent. That's what's causing it to cut.
right. So you all need to be telling me what's wrong and let's get it fixed. I don't want it, I mean, our maintenance is bad also. I think it's at 41%. And it's simply because you all are not taking the time out of your schedule to drop it somewhere or tell me to get it fixed. And I do appreciate when you all pick it up and they didn't fix it. I need to know that too. Because then I have a very strong conversation with the vendor as to why you didn't fix it while it was there.
Or they tell you it's fixed and you go to take off with it and then won't stop because they didn't bother to adjust the brakes.
Right. Pam Kidd is one that's notorious. She writes it up, it never gets fixed. So I call over there, I go over there sometimes and say, show me the write-up on this truck. Well, they pull it up and said, now why didn't you all address this weekend? Why didn't you get it done? So I need to know those things, guys. I will fight for you all to my death. You've got to be safe. You got to have your hours of service shored up. No more fudging. I can't help it if Don is not on your schedule. He's not. He absolutely is not. You're right. He doesn't care. He's going to do the least amount that he possibly can.
But it's not his job to care.
No.
It's our customer.
Yeah. Yep. We have to do what the customer, unfortunately, that's what keeps our lights on. Yeah. And Amy, God love her, she probably has gone toe to toe. Melinda has probably gone toe to toe with that man because he is so cranky. Y'all had one out at DIT that was just equally as bad. It's gone now, but he was horrible. Amy would haul Dr. Peppers and moon pies in there to give him to try to soften his mood. She would say, oh, he's having a bad day. She'd go back to the truck and she'd bring him a Dr. Pepper and a moon pie. And she'd say, I know it's hot today. You probably need something to drink. And then he'd realize what an ass he was being.
I can't remember. He was the one that told me when to have that truck.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. They don't like our women drivers. And I think our women drivers do just as good a job as any man. I put them up against any man any day. They're working just as hard as you guys are. They're getting from point A to point B safely. They're securing their loads. They're taking care of business. So that's all I'm going to preach today. I do want you all, starting with Cooley, go around and tell me your name and what it is you do, OTR or local. Because we have so many people here, brand new people here that you guys don't even know. Rick, you probably don't know 10% of them, do you? No. So we're gonna go around the corner here.
Local guy. Yeah.
Mike Cooley, local.
Fabula.
Yes.
Brandon Hawkins, over the road bandit.
Over the road bandit. Sounds good.
Brandon Williams, over the road.
We started the road.
Amy Miller, my name was it, local.
Next guy down. Louis Soto. He's local. You're gonna be over the road though, right? Yeah. You're probably getting close, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Mine, Trey, a little bit of both.
Right. He came in from over the road because he has a situation with his kids. He's going back out over the road as soon as things get shored up. He's a young man that went through JCTC, and he's out here trying to learn everything he can to be a good driver. That's right. See, that's my Trey, and then next to him is Kevin, and that's his brother. Who? Yep, over the road. Tom?
He's been with us a long time. He came right out of school.
Melinda,
Yep.
OTR.
Wait, we missed Tom.
Will, OTR. Bobby, OTR.
Rick, four-state area.
That's right. You have your own title.
We missed Kevin.
You do. You do OTR, and then you go out there and you sit and take care of some local business, and you do a lot of stuff.
And then we're here.
Alex, local.
Are you Kroger?
Alcoa. I'm Alcoa now, but I was
Oh,
Kroger
that's
twice a year.
right. Okay.
Rick, local.
Terry local.
Oh, my bad.
Paul local, Terry local.
And these two guys here are brothers. Rick was with us for a long time, and then Paul came on with us. And they used to team back in the day.
Yeah, we run together for a while.
Yeah.
Had some good times.
Jim, you want to say anything?